Are you having a cup of tea? The fire's not on though. No. I'm out.
On May 13th, 2025, Larry, the creator behind the YouTube channel Work Less, Enjoy Life More, uploaded a video that he later called the most disturbing experience he had ever gone through. What began as a typical winter overlanding trip in the remote backcountry near Moab, Utah, shared with his friends Vic and Jeremy, would soon evolve into something unforgettable and unsettling in ways they hadn't expected. Their plan was simple: spend a few days off the grid, camp beside cold mountain lakes, try their luck at trout fishing, and unwind under clear skies. Their rigs were fully outfitted for backcountry travel, and the chosen spot promised quiet isolation and untouched wilderness. Everything felt perfect, until darkness arrived.
Hi, welcome back. My name is Larry if you're new. We're actually camping in Moab, Utah this time. It's very windy today, so hopefully you can hear me over the wind, but I'm actually camping with a friend of mine, Vic. We're out here, we're getting ready to actually go fishing here. He's got a side-by-side, a really nice one at that. And so we're gonna get ready. We found this really cool little pond up in the mountains. So we're gonna head up that way, and we already kind of pre-scouted it out, and there's so many fish in there. I think it should be pretty easy to catch a fish this time. I know it's been like 4 videos in a row now I haven't been able to catch anything, but I have a good feeling this time that we're both gonna catch them.
Yep.
Yeah.
The day had been nothing short of ideal. They had explored rugged trails through high country terrain, cast their lines into frigid waters, spotted wildlife, and soaked in sweeping views of the desert canyons far below. When evening came, strong winds made a traditional campfire impossible, so instead they grabbed takeout from a local brewery. Hot chicken sandwiches eaten while sitting around a small ammo can fire pit.
So we had plans to make a dinner tonight, but one of Vic's friends is also camping with us. He left earlier to go into town, so he's picking us up some sort of chicken sandwich from a brewery, from Moab Brewery, right? Yeah, so looking forward to that. So I guess I'm not gonna be cooking dinner tonight, but that's all right. Should be worth it. We've been sitting out here, we've been wanting to make a real fire, but it's just the winds have just been so strong all night, nonstop. I don't know what they are, 30-mile-an-hour winds or something. You can see the full moon back there. That's nice. But yeah, we've just been sitting around a little ammo can fire pit tonight, and
God dang it! Dude, this freaking chair. I was just trying to like shine this on myself so you can see me.
A full moon rose, casting silver light over the canyon walls. Their talk shifted toward outdoor gear and shared stories, the sort of scene you'd expect on any winter camping night. But then the atmosphere changed. First, a single light appeared overhead, then a second, then a third. The lights didn't blink or streak across the sky like satellites or aircraft. They hovered, silent and still, shifting only slightly until they lined up into a nearly perfect triangle, fading out, returning again, and repeating the cycle. For nearly an hour, the phenomenon continued.
There's three again. Oh, it's coming back. Look, there's another bright one. All right, there's 2 bright ones. Now they both went away. There they come. Here's another one, another bright one. There's 2 bright ones again.
At one point, the lights arranged in a shape eerily similar to the triangular silhouette often tied to secretive aircraft projects such as the rumored TR-3B, commonly cited in UFO discussions and conspiracy theories. Larry tried to capture as much footage as possible, though the most dramatic moment, a precise triangle of blinding lights, occurred before his camera was rolling. What he did manage to record was still baffling. These weren't drones, they weren't satellites, and they definitely didn't resemble any commercial aircraft the group had ever encountered.
All right, I know you guys have got to see some of those lights. We were standing out there about a half an hour ago, and there was 3 just a blatant triangle, and they were the three brightest lights in the sky. And then they all just kind of like turned and disappeared. And then they just kept, whatever it was, like the three lights just kept turning and coming back, and they're just hovering in the same spot. Like I said, for about the last half an hour now, they're still going on out there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that was, I mean, like, I don't want to say like alien spaceship or something, but like they definitely didn't act like satellites. Definitely wasn't airplanes. I've never seen anything like that in my life. I don't know. I almost want to keep going back out there. I might have to switch out the battery and go back out there again and see if they're still doing it. But that's got to be probably one of the creepiest things I've seen in the sky before.
Eventually, cold and unsettled, Larry retreated to his camper. Sleep didn't come easy. He kept peering through the windows, hoping, and at the same time dreading, that the lights would reappear. They did. Long after he stopped recording, the lights continued hovering, shifting, and rotating silently in the same section of the sky. When morning came, the three men decided to cut the trip short. Officially, they told each other it was because of the weather, but inside, they all knew the truth was different.
What do you think of the lights last night?
I have no idea what that was. I mean, it could have been a UFO. Who knows?
Yeah, the first initial three, like in that triangle, when we first saw it, we couldn't get the camera out fast enough. Like, that was the craziest one. I kind of wish I had that on camera, but they were definitely just over here spinning around all night long.
Yeah, it's so unusual.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that before.
I haven't either. I guess we're going to pack up, head out here in a minute or soon, once we get everything put in the trailers.
It's going to be a process, but we'll get it done. I believe in it.
All right, Jeremy's going to go find us a couple spots. Hopefully. Crossing fingers. It's a cool van, I like it.
It really is, isn't it?
The strange lights didn't match the behavior of planes, satellites, or hobby drones. Their hovering patterns, triangular formations, and ability to reappear in the same exact spot suggested something far more advanced. Some speculate they were classified military tests, while others are convinced Larry captured evidence of a genuine UFO. The complete silence, unusual motion, and brilliant intensity of the lights make this sighting difficult to dismiss. Was Larry unknowingly camped beneath the test run of experimental aircraft? Or did something genuinely unexplainable pass over their campsite that night? Larry hadn't been looking for the mysterious. He was only out there to camp. But whatever was in the sky that evening, it found him. Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoy chilling encounters caught on film, don't forget to like and subscribe, because the most disturbing moments often arrive when you least expect them. The YouTube channel, What's Not to Hike, is typically known for showcasing long-distance treks and stays in remote bothies across the UK and Europe, not for paranormal content. But during a late October trip to Galloway Forest in Scotland, what started as a relaxed Halloween special quickly became an experience neither hiker had anticipated. Their plans sounded straightforward. Partner with Ben from Adventure Outdoors, hike into the isolated White Lag in Bothy, and ride out a forecasted storm while filming a holiday collaboration.
Well, hello again, everyone. Welcome to Bonnie, Scotland. And if you haven't recognised by now from us coming in, we're at a place called White Lag in Bothy. We're in Dumfries and Galloway Forest, and today's the day where the big storm is meant to be happening, but so far we've got lucky. And I say I'm with Ben, who's just setting up his sleeping gear. Ben from Adventure Outdoors. Of course, I'll leave a link to his channel in the comments down below. But it's pretty moody, as you can probably see outside the window there. It's still pretty moody out there, but we haven't got the winds anywhere near what they said they were forecast for. I mean, they were talking about 60, 70 miles an hour, but we had the odd gust. We had to stop off and get some petrol for the car.
Both men were seasoned outdoorsmen, pragmatic and grounded, with no real interest in ghosts or the supernatural. Their only real concern was the incoming system, Storm Ashley, which threatened wind gusts reaching nearly 90 miles per hour. They made it to the Bothy without issue, despite the gloomy skies and steadily building winds. Once inside, they unpacked gear, set up sleeping arrangements, filtered drinking water, and joked about the storm over a few drinks and dehydrated meals. The mood was relaxed, almost cozy, as the weather intensified outside. Then, things began to get strange.
Oh well, so I was wrong. Looks like the winds have come, although still not as strong as forecast, but it is definitely, it's almost like you feel the storms on the way. Sort of probably 30-40 mile an hour gusts maybe now, but you can feel it's going to get worse. About going to filter some water, just hang that up so we don't have to keep going out and getting it, especially if the weather does turn bad. And then we're just going to hang out, got some beers and wine there, have a bit of food. We didn't bring loads of stuff to cook on fire or anything, we just brought some the dehydrated meals.
The first odd moment came when a kettle suddenly appeared on the stove, even though neither man recalled placing it there, and the stove itself hadn't even been lit. They laughed it off, assuming one of them had simply forgotten. But soon after, a pair of saws that had been hanging neatly on the wall earlier were discovered lying on the floor. Once again, neither had touched them.
Let me show you around again. So that's actually I'll have to spin the camera around. There's the candle. I think that looks really nice. Down here is the fireplace. Looks like Ben's got the kettle on. We haven't even got the fire on yet. Are you having a cup of tea?
I didn't put that on.
But the fire's not on though.
I didn't move that kettle.
No, you're winding me up. Aren't you? You've done the saws, I reckon, and now you've done the kettle. You're trying to.
I didn't put it on.
I reckon you're trying to freak me out.
I didn't realise the stove isn't even
The stove's not even on, yeah. I thought it weird you were having a cup. I think it's weird that you're having a cup of tea with it. So you didn't move it.
That's definitely not, man.
We're gonna watch a bit of bothy TV in a bit, which is basically the fire, sit in for a night and listen to the wind blow outside. Quite spooky. And what with the saws and the kettle moving on its own, it's even spookier now. But as I say, I don't really believe in all that stuff, but a bit odd.
It was odd, but not unexplainable, until the door slammed shut with startling force. This wasn't just a strong gust. The door was solid, heavy, and required deliberate pressure to close. One of them even tested it afterward, confirming that the wind alone couldn't have caused it. Something or someone had moved that door, had moved. From that point,
Found the bothy book. You put my glasses on though to find us a bat. So this is popular, quite a popular bothy by the looks of it. Someone actually stayed last night. It was nice and tidy when we came in. So plaudits to whoever stayed here last night. Well done. Absolutely spotless. Hold on a minute. No. I'm out of here. No.
the atmosphere shifted. The camera light and backup battery, both fully charged beforehand, began to drain and flicker without cause. The room that had felt warm and welcoming moments earlier now carried an edge of unease. Unnerved, the two men chose not to sleep in the same space where the slamming had occurred. The lighthearted Halloween mood had been replaced by something far more serious. No further physical disturbances took place, but the tension was enough to keep them awake.
The thing is, and now my light that's attached to my the cold shoe on the tripod, that was just charged before I started filming tonight, and that's now just died. Weird stuff was going on earlier with the saws. 1 minute on the wall, now they're on the floor. I thought that was Ben just winding me up. He thought it was me winding him up. The kettle ended up on top of the stove when the stove wasn't even on. So we're convinced the kettle, we've now convinced ourselves the kettle might have always been on the stove, but we have to look back at the previous footage when we came in to see where it was, but that was terrifying. And I don't even swear, I'm swearing, but I think my batteries, see now this battery's dying as well on this camera, and it's again just being charged, and this lasts like 2 hours or whatever. So something really weird going on. We were going to sleep in this room because it was a bit warmer than the other one, and plus the other one, the doors rattling from the wind, so.
Through much of the night, they never outright claimed the bothy was haunted. Still, the timing and sequence of events were hard to brush off. Objects moved on their own, gear malfunctioned, and the heavy door slammed shut with unnatural force, all within a short period. Some viewers have suggested strong electromagnetic interference, while others point to unexplained energy phenomena often linked to historic stone shelters. Even for skeptics, dismissing every detail as coincidence isn't easy. Was it merely the storm creating illusions, or was there something else sharing that bothy during the night? The footage captures the events, but the interpretation is left up to you. Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoy disturbing outdoor encounters caught on camera, be sure to like and subscribe. Uploaded to YouTube on May 11th, 2025, this chilling entry comes from the channel Deer River Wild, the quiet digital home of the so-called Adirondack hermit. Normally, his videos highlight a minimalist, off-grid lifestyle, repairing wood stoves, making slow but steady cabin upgrades, tracking wildlife, and taking contemplative walks through frozen forests. But this time, the story was very different. Instead of the usual calm solitude and gentle craft, what unfolded deeply unsettled both the creator and his audience. The video begins with the hermit setting up trail cameras around his isolated cabin in the Adirondack backcountry. His aim was simple: capture glimpses of local wildlife while he was away. Deer, foxes, maybe even a porcupine crossing the snow. With a thin blanket of powder on the ground and cold wind rushing through the trees, he mounted cameras along narrow paths, by the riverbank, and near his front door. Soon after, however, a powerful windstorm tore through the region. Fierce gusts bent trees, shook the cabin walls, and knocked several cameras off balance. When he returned, the hermit discovered much of the footage had been corrupted or blown out. Calmly, he adjusted the setups, adding better stabilization and wider angles. That's when everything changed. Reviewing the latest recordings, one clip stood out. At first, the frame showed nothing unusual, just snow swirling in the wind and shadows shifting across the ground. Then a man stepped into view. He wasn't waving for help. He wasn't looking lost. He wasn't even hesitant. He moved with quiet confidence, circling the cabin before eventually stepping inside. There were no broken locks, no stolen property, no visible disturbance. Yet the fact that a stranger had entered, uninvited, in such a remote and isolated place, was enough to shake the hermit's otherwise steady composure. The man remained on camera for nearly 2 minutes. He glanced at the gear, scanned the room, and seemed to consider his next move. At no point did he cover his face, even though he walked directly past a visible camera. When the hermit later returned and saw the footage, his reaction was telling. He spoke little, but his movements said more than words, approaching the door cautiously, checking his surroundings, and silently processing what could have happened. From that moment, his behavior shifted. He swept the cabin area carefully, adjusted the trail cameras to more hidden positions, and carried himself with a sharper awareness. The focus was no longer on animals. Unlike ghost sightings or unexplained lights in the night sky, this was frightening for a different reason, because it was real. A stranger, deep in the wilderness, miles from the nearest town, had entered the private space of someone living alone. He took nothing, yet gave no reason for being there. Was it simple curiosity? Or was it something more deliberate, scouting, planning, testing boundaries? That uncertainty is what makes this event so disturbing. Who was the man? And why did he come? He didn't steal. He didn't hide. But he left behind something far worse than damage: the quiet erosion of safety. In a world where isolation is chosen for protection and peace, how do you respond when that sanctuary is silently breached? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to see more real and unsettling moments caught on camera, don't forget to like and subscribe. Uploaded on June 15, 2024, this short but unnerving encounter follows Mike as he treks deep into the remote woods of Dudleytown, Connecticut, a place surrounded by folklore, mystery, and its long-standing reputation as cursed. Stories of ghostly apparitions, strange sounds, and unsettling phenomena have given Dudleytown the title of one of New England's most haunted forests. Despite that ominous reputation, Mike sets out alone, treating the trip as if it were just another hike through the woods. But the deeper he goes, the less ordinary the experience becomes.
Watch who's stalking who now. Who's stalking who now? Look at that. Do you see a person? Yeah, who's stalking who now? I got you now, motherfucker. I got you now, motherfucker. Look at this beautiful moss, by the way. Do you hear it? Look.
It begins with sounds. Subtle, persistent noises trail behind him. Footsteps, perhaps, or movement. Yet every time he turns, the forest looks empty. No figure, no motion, only silence pressing in from all sides. Uneasy, Mike slips behind a rock to observe the trees. While filming from his hidden spot, the camera catches something unsettling.
Okay, ready? Tell me I'm crazy. Tell me I'm crazy. Tell me I'm crazy. Look at that. I'm by myself in Dudley. Look at that. Oh my God.
A vague figure in the distance, partially concealed by branches, standing still, as though it's watching. The moment sends a surge of dread through him. Continuing on, the tension only escalates. More movement is captured. Someone, or something, weaving between the trees just far enough away to remain unreachable. The figure never closes the distance, but it never disappears either. Always present, always watching. What makes the encounter so disturbing is the complete absence of sound. No words, no approach. Just a silent, shadowy figure lingering in the forest. Though shaken, Mike eventually emerges from Dudleytown unharmed. There's no confrontation, no dramatic ending, but the effect is lasting. Encounters like this highlight that danger in isolated places doesn't always come from the supernatural. Maybe it was a prankster, maybe a wanderer, or maybe something harder to explain. What creates the real fear is the uncertainty, the unsettling reality of not knowing who or what was there. If you were alone in a place like Dudleytown and realized someone was silently following you, would you confront them, or would you leave the forest as quickly as possible? In a recent release, the Paranormal channels Sorry to Guya and Archaeotica set out on an investigation inside a cemetery infamous for its history of supernatural activity. What began as a routine night exploration quickly turned into one of their most disturbing experiences yet.
¿Por qué te vas? Acércate.
Oye, ¿escuchas?
Corrió para acá. A ver, muéstrame tu tumba. Sé que aquí está. ¿Por qué te fuiste?
¡Uy! ¡Dios mío!
¿Te dices cuenta?
¿Te golpearon, amiga?
¿De dónde cayó ese palo?
No sé dónde estaba, te lo juro que no miré.
¿Te enojaste, verdad? No te
Ah,
gusta
caray.
que te reten.
Sí te golpeó duro, amiga, ¿eh?
Por eso te enojaste. Aquí estoy, ven. A ver, ven y hazlo otra vez. Ven y hazlo.
Mira, ¿qué es eso, amiga?
¿Qué?
Es una silla. Se movió, ¿eh?
Que está sentada ahí.
A ver, pon una parte abajo, mía, en el puro medio pon.
Hay que bajarla de acá arriba porque es tumba. Y grabamos el
Sí, amigo. La vamos a bajar, amigo, porque no queremos problema ahí con la gente del cementerio, amigos.
No, y es que luego dicen que es uno, pues. A ver, aquí estoy, ven. Ven, yo vi que la silla se movió. Yo vi que ahí estabas. Acércate, quiero verte.
They entered carefully, flashlights cutting across rows of weathered graves. Almost immediately, unusual activity began to unfold. Soft, eerie laughter drifted through the night air, and a lone chair positioned near a tomb started to shift on its own, rocking slightly, then moving as if pushed by unseen hands.
Mira, José se está sumando de acá. Hola.
¡Ay! Acá. ¿Hola? Mira, la silla, mira la silla.
Llegaste aquí, ¿qué quieres? A ver, dime, ¿qué quieres? Acércate.
Ah, caray.
No la deja agarrar. Te estoy diciendo que vengas para acá, acércate. ¿Qué es lo que quieres en realidad? Yo te estoy ordenando que ahí te quedes. Quédate ahí sentada. ¿Qué quieres? A ver, si estás aquí realmente, muéstrate en este momento. Yo quiero verte, no quiero que muevas la silla, quiero verte. No quiero que me retes con una silla, quiero poderte ver. Si estás aquí realmente, muéstrate. A ver, muéstrate, quiero verte, acércate. No quiero que te estés escondiendo, ni que te manifiestes agrediéndome, acércate.
Mira. Y a tus pies.
Exactamente, es que está enojada, pues.
The unease grew sharper when, without warning, one of the investigators was struck by something invisible. Efforts to calmly engage whatever presence lingered there went unanswered, but the atmosphere only thickened. The chair's movement grew more purposeful, as if an unseen entity was using it to communicate, or to issue a warning. One investigator speculated that the spirit might be female, interpreting subtle impressions and the energy in the space. Regardless of identity, it was clear the entity did not welcome their intrusion.
Cuidado, cuidado. Amigos, somos 656 personas. Apóyenme a compartir, mi gente hermosa. Apóyenme a compartir y distribuir este contenido, amigos. Vamos, sí se puede. Sí se puede llegar a más compartida. ¿Cómo de que no, mi amigos? Pues toda... Ah, no manches.
Qué asco.
Pues mira toda la brujería que hay, amiga.
¿Qué?
Hay brujería con cráneo y todo, mira.
Qué asco.
La apesta horrible.
Huele horrible. Eso ya se reventó. Eso ya hizo lo que tenía que hacer, José.
Vean toda la brujería, amigos.
Mira, tiene cocos. Es que la tiran para esta parte porque es parte donde uno no se puede meter a sacarla. Mira, y está el ataúd, José.
Sí, ya todo eso, amiga.
Están los ataúdes.
Hay que grabar más profundo, amiga.
¿Me quito?
No. Pensé que se podía, pero no. ¿Escuchaste?
Sí. ¿Quién está ahí? Hola.
Deeper into the cemetery, the team uncovered evidence of brujeria, witchcraft. Hidden among gravestones and secluded corners were objects often tied to ritual practice. Small coffins, animal remains, melted candles, coconut shells, and personal belongings. Many of these items were tucked away in places that would be difficult to reach, suggesting not only intent, but long-term ceremonial use.
¿Hola? Hey. ¿Quién pasó, pues?
¿Quién está ahí?
Buenas noches.
José, pero te das cuenta que eso como que voló.
Espérate. No sé qué fue. Hola.
Yo vi que como que voló, José.
¿No será algo en la silla?
Hola.
No, a ver, mueve esa silla para el medio, amiga. Algo de tener esa silla. Porque caminó para acá, para la silla, ¿eh? Ahí déjala, amiga.
¿Estás buscando la silla? ¿La estás buscando? Ahí está la silla. ¿Qué quieres con ella? A ver, ve.
Uy.
Habló, José. Habló. Ahí la tienes, ven. Acércate, ahí está la silla.
Mira. No mames. ¿Miraste?
The oppressive feeling of being observed never left them. Whispers, faint voices, and fleeting shadows seemed to press in from every angle. At one point, their equipment captured what looked like a dark figure briefly seated in the chair. Though it vanished in seconds, the impression of intelligence and hostility remained.
Oh, un niño. Pues que la verdad ya ni sé, amiga, qué era.
Buenas noches.
Oye, se escucha la
¿Qué
voz,
haces aquí solo en el cementerio? ¿No te da miedo?
Se escucha la voz,
A ver, aquí estoy. Ven, acércate.
Ay.
Acá, por acá.
Ay, caray, ay, caray.
Por aquí. A ver, ¿quién está ahí?
Fue aquí.
Oye, José. Como que alguien está hablando de acá atrás.
Uy.
A ver, acércate.
Mira.
Se está riendo algo,
¡Ay!
¿Quién
Pasó
está ahí?
ya.
Tiró la silla.
Y tiró la silla. Yo lo miré, estaba sentado en una silla, amiga. ¿Hola? Estaba sentado en una silla, amiga, ¿eh? ¿Hola?
O sea, nos estaba viendo para dónde agarrábamos.
Y agarró para acá.
Lo que sea que esté aquí nos
Hay
estaba
que buscarlo.
viendo, José.
Hay que buscarlo. Oye. Sigue unos golpes.
¿Hola?
Ah, caray.
A ver, aquí estamos.
No, está muy fuerte esto.
Acércate, ¿dónde estás? Hola. No se mira.
Then came the climax. The chair suddenly crashed to the ground with violent force, as though hurled by something unseen. The aggression felt deliberate, like a final warning to get out. Immediately afterward, a disembodied voice echoed close by. Yet when the light swept the area, no one was there. Shadows darted at the edges of their beams, and the air grew heavy to the point of suffocation. Realizing the danger, the team chose to retreat. Though none of them suffered physical injury, the psychological toll was clear. The combination of direct physical interaction, ritual artifacts, and the overwhelming atmosphere suggested the cemetery was not just haunted. It had been charged and shaped by years of spiritual disturbance. This investigation stands apart for how rapidly it escalated, from light attempts at communication to outright aggression and the discovery of ritual remnants. Was this entity conjured through repeated ceremonies, or has it always been bound to that ground? Do you believe the team encountered something truly paranormal, or do you think the events were staged for dramatic effect? More importantly, if you were in their place, how long would you have stayed inside that cemetery? In one of his most unnerving explorations yet, Franco TV takes viewers high into the Andes Mountains for a solo nighttime investigation that quickly turns unsettling. Recently uploaded, the video documents his journey into a remote region steeped in legends. Tales of spiritual mountain guardians and even terrifying entities like the Wendigo. At elevations between 9,000 and 10,000 feet, Franco braves freezing conditions to begin.
And holy shit, this place is amazing. I'm trying to head back into the town. That was eerie. So it begins. I'm gonna see if I could take out my thermal imaging camera and seeing if I could see anything that's alive out here moving, or any cold or hot signatures.
His first stop is a shrine dedicated to the Virgin Mary, a place locals believe provides protection in these dangerous highlands. The silence is overwhelming, broken only by sharp gusts of wind cutting through the night air. The cold soon begins to take its toll.
Chairs. I don't know what this is supposed to be. Sometimes there's like a hidden door. So I want to get my bearings around this area. There's a lot of tombs, a lot of darkness things, so I'm actually kind of spooked out going through here. There is a main entrance up here, and every now and then I keep hearing sounds coming from that creepy little chapel up there. I don't know why. It might be the wind moving it.
With a thermal camera in hand, he scans the rugged terrain for signs of movement. The screen shows nothing. No heat signatures, no life. Yet he cannot shake the sense of being watched. His path leads to a decaying bunker, its unlocked door revealing remnants of past use. Chairs.
The wind gust is ridiculous out here, but there is this house that I want to check out. Now this house is particularly weird because they left all their belongings inside. And the crazy part is all the belongings are children's clothes. There's just children everywhere. They're dolls and everything. Oh, God, it's so freaking cold. I wonder how many times I'm going to say that in this video. You see?
And then you have a whole bunch of clothes, shoes. There's kids' shoes in here too. I looked at my vlog channel and I just found all these clothing that just belongs to random people. These are short pants from another kid.
Socks, a rug, and a wooden bench. It's unclear who lived here, or why. While exploring, Franco hears faint noises coming from a chapel nearby.
Nope, I'm seeing something. It looks like lights. Turn off my IR, you see it? Oh shit, there's a car. Somebody just came in here. Holy shit. I hope they're not part of the people with the lights. I have been out here for hours and I have not seen a single soul out here. The thing is, this place is really hard to find, so I don't know how the heck they even found their way up here. It is so windy right now. Sorry if my voice sounds muffled.
At first he blames the wind, but before long, shifting shadows and movement through windows suggest something more. Switching between thermal, infrared, and flashlight modes, he pushes forward. At one point, he captures the chilling image of a dark figure gliding past a chapel window. Brief, but enough to confirm his suspicions. The investigation grows darker when he steps into an abandoned home. Inside, he finds children's clothes, shoes, and toys scattered as though the house had been left behind suddenly, frozen in time. The discovery carries an unsettling weight, raising questions about who once lived there and why they left so abruptly. Then the sounds return. Scraping outside, movement in the dark. Suddenly, in the distance, lights appear from a building that had been dark only moments before. Even more alarming, a car arrives. Given the remote location, the vehicle's presence feels ominous. Franco watches its headlights wind along the narrow mountain road, unsettled by the thought of who else would be up here, and for what reason. As he observes, more activity emerges.
Look at the window. You see? I knew I saw a fucking shadow. I saw the same thing earlier with the GoPro. Oh my god, it's just... Hold on, let me cover the mics. A big breeze just came in. I just saw a black shadow right in front of the window.
Lights flicker in surrounding buildings. Silhouettes move past windows, and shadowy forms drift at the edges of his vision. Returning to the house, he notices handprints smeared across the walls. Some small, low to the ground like those of children, others higher, pressed hard as if in desperation. Abruptly, his camera cuts out. When it returns, he manages to capture one final disturbing image. A pitch-black figure standing motionless at a window, echoing the earlier sighting at the chapel. The combination of unexplained phenomena and the arrival of unknown people forces Franco to end his investigation, choosing caution over curiosity. This exploration suggests more than ordinary paranormal disturbance. It feels layered, with both supernatural and human mysteries intersecting in ways that are difficult to untangle. Was the place haunted by tragedy and abandonment? Or were the strangers part of something far more concrete and possibly dangerous? If you were alone in the freezing Andes, with shadows in the windows and strangers showing up unannounced, would you keep going? Or would you call it quits?
That's it for tonight. Which moment creeped you out the most? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story? Share it with us, and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.